again, my lovelies. This is Angela with Grow with the Chicken Lady. Today we're just going to do a short video. I'm going to be putting some seeds in, well, starting some seeds, potting up a couple peppers, and then I'm going to be planting out some, I forgot the name of the flowers. I'll show you whenever I go look at them. It's some that my husband wanted, but I told him I'd plant them out for him. So I'm going to take you along as I do that. I also need to refresh the nesting boxes where my chickens lay and collect the eggs. So I'm just going to take you along as I do that. But first, we're going to start out by starting two seeds, and we're going to start by starting the cucamelons or the mouse melons. I've never grown these before, but I heard they're prolific, and I'm just going to give them a try this year because they look really cute, like little watermelons, and they supposedly taste like cucumbers, and I like cucumbers. So, and then we're also going to be starting some Armenian cucumbers. And the reason I'm starting these is because my chickens and my turkeys really love these during the summer. I just take them off, pop them in the fridge for about an hour or two, and then go throw them to them, and they eat them up. So I'm going to bring you along as I get that done. So let me get everything set up, and I'll bring you back when that's ready. Y'all, it has to be really hard life being a cat. Look who I have here. This is Timmy. He is a cat, but he thinks he's a dog sometimes, and he fights like the dogs. I have three dogs that are inside, and he gets rowdy and rough with them. So, but he come to say, "Hey, don't bite me! Don't be mean." He come to say, "Hey," and he's messing with the chickens. So, all right. So to get started, there. Alrighty. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and plant out the cucamelon and the Armenian cucumber. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to make a hole about that deep on my finger for both of them, because you want to make it so both that the seeds can kind of go down in pretty deep. That way you can cover them over pretty good. If I'm not mistaken, you want to make the hole the same, about twice as wide as the seed, just so that the seed has enough energy to get out and is still covered with soil. So, all right, let me get these open. And I'm just going to take and put two seeds, not four seeds, Angela, not three seeds, Angela, two seeds in the hole, and just cover it over, just like so. That's my Armenian cucumber. And now we're going to do the cucamelon, which I'm not even sure how big these seeds are, so I may have made my hole a little bit too big. So let's see. Yep, I made my hole way too big. I'm going to cover the back in there some. So I'm just going to kind of do it like I would do a pepper seed or a uh, pepper seed or a tomato seed. Hold on a second. Let me turn this fan off or turn it down. It was shaking my stand here. So I'm just going to take two of those seeds. And you can see they're real little. I'm going to take two of those and just drop them right there and just cover them back over. And I'm only doing 1 cup of each of these because that's all the plants I want. I just want one plant of each. Because like I said, I don't know if I even like the cucamelon, so I'm just giving this a try this year. And then like on the Armenian cucumbers, once this plant starts to kind of die back in our heat, if it does, then I will go ahead and I will pull it and have another one ready to go in its place. So that's that. They're covered over. Just give them a little spray down here on the top. My soil is already pre-soaked, so it's not like dripping wet, but it is pre-moistened. So I'm going to go ahead and just wet the top down real generously like that, and I am all done. So now I am going to add these over here to this tray. Well, yeah, I'll add them to that tray until they sprout, and then they'll be moved to the other. So for now, what we're going to do is I have to pot up these two peppers. These pepper plants, are several weeks behind my other pepper plants. And just to kind of give you an idea of them, this is the same pepper variety as this right here. And you can see how tall and lush and pretty that is. So, but these are going to be my later planting of them. I do succession plant of my peppers just because I want to get an early harvest. And our summers here are very humid and hot and miserable. So the plants do tend to get diseased some. So if they get diseased, I'll have replacements to go in their place. So that way I'm not worried about it. So what I'm going to do is, like I normally would, I'm going to pop it out, pull it out, and as you can see, there's a few little white roots in there. You can't really see them too well because the plant's so small, but there's a few little white roots in there. And I'm going to dig 2 fingers down into my wet soil and just pop my little plug in there and push it down. Now, in filling these cups up, I do not pack the soil down in there. The only time I pack the soil down in there is on my first filling of these trays. I will put a handful of soil in there, and then I'll take my fingers and kind of do like that to pack it down in, and then I'll fill back over the top and kind of clear off the top till the soil is even level with the tray. And that's the only time I ever really pack them down. So that's all I do with that. There's that one already potted up and done. And this is going to be pretty much the same thing you would do with your tomato. Well, tomatoes, you can bury them deeper, but your peppers, your eggplants, any of your vegetables you can do this with. There are ones that do not like to have their roots disturbed, such as squash and things like that. Some cucumber varieties, they don't like to have their roots disturbed, and they will get a little transplant shock, but I still disturb them. So I'm not too worried about it. This one, it had 2 peppers growing in there. I just pulled this one out because I wanted the strongest one. So hop them in there, push it down, and I just push it to where it's level with the soil that's in the pot. So once the soil level is level with the existing soil that the plug, then I'll push it down to that point, and then I'll just kind of push a little bit of soil back over it just to kind of make it look nice and pretty because I have OCD like that some days. So, but there you go. There's both of my little bell peppers already potted up and set to go, and they'll stay in there till they get this size, and then they'll be ready to go out into the garden. So these are technically ready to go out into the garden, but we have a freeze that's going to be coming the beginning of next week, so I'm not going to pull these out just yet. I do fertilize them once they get their true leaves. I will fertilize them with half a solution. Well, it's not half a solution. I'm sorry. I dilute it by half for the solution in order to feed these once every 2 weeks. So they're already getting they're already on a fertilization schedule for every 2 weeks right now. Until they go in the soil, they'll get that initial boost, and then they'll be on my regular fertilization schedule that I have for the garden. And y'all look at these right here. This is my Soriel, Jamaican Soriel, Roselle, Jamaica. They're just doing awesome in here, and they're just really great. I looked at the roots the other day. The roots are nice and white and beautiful. So these are going to be, I'm really excited to have those in the garden again this year because I really do love the tea made out of the calyxes. And while I'm in the greenhouse, I wanted to give you an update on the tomato seeds that we started in the All About Tomatoes video. That's these right here. They sprouted, they're growing, and they're doing really great. But they are small. Eventually they'll get bigger, but they kind of like stuck in that stage of hold still, and then they'll shoot up like these right here, and then they'll be like, hold my beer. So here we go. Alrighty, we're coming out here to, well, we're moving on to the next task, which is freshening up the laying boxes for the chickens. You grab a bucket, and there's shavings. And then y'all can see they're all happy because they're out running around. See the turkeys off over there. All in my area where my compost pile is going to be. Hard heads. Okay. Ugh. Now let's fight with these chickens. Okay. Alrighty. Set that down and collect eggs. 3 from that first one. And we will be incubating eggs this week, so that turkey's been in here. Oh, and that's the eggs for today. It's only 5 eggs for today because I come late yesterday and got the other ones, and I'm pretty sure I'll have more laying this afternoon because my chickens lay at all times of the day and night. Y'all, it is hard work being a cat, isn't it? He is on the lookout for birds or something messing with the chickens that are out in the yard. And here he comes to accompany me to go plant. What did I tell y'all? He's like a little puppy. Follows you everywhere. So now we're on to, we're going to go plant the flowers in this bed up here for my husband. And I will bring y'all back shortly while I'm doing that. Alrighty, so I actually have some impatiens that I bought him. He really likes these. My husband really likes these for whatever reason. So I have white, pink, and a red variety. Timmy, get out of there. Ugh, hard-headed. But I have a white, pink, and a red variety. I'm just going to kind of lay them out on here, and then we'll go from there. And then y'all, I just noticed it, but I'll show you in just a second. My hydrangea that I planted right here in the middle, it is starting to green up and wake up. And then so is my lime tree that's right here. So it made it through that cold storm that came through. So I'm real happy. I got leaves and it's greening up real nice and pretty. I did go ahead and prune it back just because the greenery came on and I seen where it was at. So I just said, let me cut up from there. So it did get pruned rather heavily, but it is greened up and it is coming back. So I'm happy for that. Give me just a second. Let me lay these out where I want them, and then I'll bring you back whenever I'm ready to plant and show you how I'm doing that. All right, guys. I have it's a white impatient. I didn't realize the names. The one is called a blue pearl. Like both of them are pink varieties instead of a red. That's a blue pearl also. Oh, let me switch out this one. Put that one there, that one here. And then we have the red variety is a lipstick variety. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant one with you guys right now, and then I'm going to plant all these real quick, and then I'll bring you back once I'm done. And if you enjoy the content, y'all, I really appreciate it if you subscribe, like my videos, comment below. I'll respond to comments. I finally figured out how to get them turned on, so the comments are there now. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to view these videos. I'm still new at it, so appreciate your patience with me. But let me go ahead and get the first one planted, and then I'll just move my straw mulch back. And y'all will find that I'm a person that I really like to get my hands in the dirt. So I'll use tools like this and the shovel just long enough to get the stuff out of the way, and then I'm going hands in. So I'm just digging me a hole deep enough for my cup, and I just kind of measure it to see where the cup is. Take that out. I squeeze around the sides like this to loosen up the little root ball, And you can see the roots are a little dark there just because they've been out here while it was raining. So I'm just going to pinch them a little bit like that just to loosen them up so they know that, hey, we got more space to grow in. And then we're going to pop them in. The soil level is even with where the plant was in the cup. So I'll push it back down and bring my hay or straw back over it just like that. And then I'll pop my little label in just so I can know what's right here. Because as I get older, I find I don't have the best memory when it comes to certain things. And I'm sure that happens to others also. But for me, I know it to be true. So, alrighty. Well, give me just a minute. Let me finish planting these out. And then I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like when it's done. And I don't even think I need to water these in because it was raining a little bit this morning. It rained most of the day yesterday. So they're soaked, the ground's soaked. I'm just going to pop them in, cover them over, and let it be. So give me just a minute. Alrighty, guys. Got them all planted up. You see right there. They're looking lovely. Oh, and this is the greenery coming in on my hydrangea right there. So that's coming in, which makes me really excited. And this is my lovely rose bush that's up here. Actually, this is my husband's rose bush. He won't let me claim it. Not anymore. So this is a rose bush. It is a sunset orange, I think. Sunset horizon. A sunset horizon. It makes these lovely orange, pink, and cream colored roses that are striped, and they're just so pretty, so gorgeous to look at. I just pruned this back because it was huge and took up most of this wall, but I pruned it all the way back a couple weeks ago, and now it's starting to come back out and grow back up. So I'm happy with the progress of it and the shape and the look of it. So, and then there's the last impatient that I planted right beside some lavender that I have there. So those are all planted up and set. Now, kind of time to move on to the next job, which is really one I don't want to do, but I guess I'm going to have to do it, which is weeding the garden. I try to go out and weed my garden beds at least once a day for about 30 minutes. It just helps me to stay on top of weeding to where I'm not having to do it all at one time. And yeah, that's to me, that's actually the best way to do it because you don't want to come out here and stay 4 or 5 hours trying to weed all of that. That would just be crazy. And that's also kind of the point of having the straw mulch down, is to help those weeds stay back. So the straw mulch helps me to see them a lot better, so I can come out 15, 20, no more than 30 minutes a day, pull all the little weeds that are coming up, and I'm good to go. So I don't really mind doing it. I just don't like to do it. So it's just one of them things. Oh, and y'all look at this. These daylilies are going absolutely crazy. They're not flowering yet, but they're coming. And these dianthus, y'all believe it? These dianthus have been there going on 2.5 years. They made it through the freeze. They made it through just about everything, and they're just still living their best life in this fabric pot that I do need to dig them up and put them out somewhere else. I need to replace this fabric pot. It's kind of been there for about 2 years now, so I know it's kind of deteriorating. You can see it right there, but that'll be a project for another day, not today. So, and then we're slowly working on getting this area recovered with weed fabric, and then we'll have new mulch and everything to lay down on top of it. We've already covered that side right there, so that side is set and done. We just have to work on this side, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that my lovely family is going to be coming. Well, my husband's lovely family is going to be coming and putting my pergola or canopy, not canopy, gazebo type canopy up this weekend, so I can have that built and enjoy the outside a little more during the summertime, because the heat here is crazy. I mean, like, crazy, unbelievable. We can get to be in the 90s to hundreds and feels like 120, 130 degrees outside sometimes, which is just wow. But anyway, well, oh, and y'all, didn't show y'all this, but I planted out my sweet corn, and it's doing really good. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, sweet corn is not my friend, but I'm hoping to make it my friend this year. And before anybody comes at me, I know they're planting it too close, but I do a heavy fertilization because I know corn are heavy feeders. I do a fertilization schedule that has these in mind while I'm fertilizing. So I will take that into consideration, how close they are. So where do you think you're going? Hey, you, Timmy. Mish Mish. Hey, you. I don't know what he's smelling. Y'all, that thing is spoiled. Y'all just don't even know. Whew. Spoiled. Y'all, in my calendula bed. I have my oh Lord, I can't even remember the name of it right now. But anyway, I have some right there, and I have alyssum and calendula throughout it, and then I just have two little sunflowers back there in the back. I had three. One got decapitated during the recent storm, so it's laid over somewhere. So anyway, but this is the calendula bed. It has grown crazily, bounced right back from the freeze that we had a few weeks ago, and I just couldn't be happier. So, y'all, the potatoes. What can I say? The potatoes. So I think what I am going to do is I may actually just run through and weed this potato bed really quick. See, and I don't know if y'all can see this, but you see how easy it is to spot the weeds as they come up through this straw? I'm thoroughly impressed with this straw this year. This is my first year using actual straw. I've usually used like compost or like a mulch, like a bark mulch, but this year someone else on another channel uses this straw, and I watched their channel a good bit, and I just fell in love with it. I was like, it looks great, so let me try. And y'all, you can just see the weeds. I can pull them out so easily from the roots. See them? Just pull them straight out. I lay them down on top. Just like that. The sun will kill the root ends, and if I don't get the whole root, I'm not worried about it because they'll come back. And when they do, I'll get them then. So, see, like that right there. There you go. Take, chunk it down. You know, look at that. Not even 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and it's already pretty much weeded. There's like one right there. You can't really see it, but I see it and I can't reach it. So I'll go around in a minute and get them. So, but anyway, so that's that. Timmy's here with me, and we're going to sit out here and we're going to weed these beds really quick. And I'm sure that he'll jump up on one and call himself helping me. Where do you think you're going now? He don't even know. Y'all, I can't wait to introduce y'all when I go into a little bit more detail on my turkeys and chickens and stuff. I have two turkeys. They're male turkeys. They're right there. That's Dumb and Dumber. And they are hilarious because they argue back with me. Especially that darker, not the darker one, but the brown one or the reddish looking one, brown, whatever color he was that just went in. They are just absolutely crazy and argue back with me. And it's the funniest thing. So, but anyway, well, Timmy and I are going to sit out here. We're going to weed these beds out really quick to go ahead and knock that out of the way because I need to go inside and finish cooking dinner. If you like the videos, you're content, you learned something, I really appreciate it if you can like, subscribe. We'll be doing a lot more throughout the summer whenever they come and start building the pergola or the canopy or whatever it is going to be called. I will put a video up of that. But until then, everything is going good here, and I really appreciate your time. And hey, get up and grow something.